Hello and welcome to the look ahead. It's the familiar faces, which seems to be the case with this show, which is nice. It's nice to have that, familiar sort of feel to it, the family feel.
Family feel.
None of
family.
these. Yeah, exactly. Whatever dysfunctional family it is.
Yeah, Simpsons.
Well, I've got to be Homer.
I'm back.
Michael will have to probably be Mr. Burns because
Thanks. Brilliant. He's not one of the family, is he? Anyway.
And we'll make Mark
Coming West, Mr. fucking Burns. He's villain of it all, isn't he?
We'll make him Chief Wiggum.
Mo.
Oh, I don't mind that.
Chief
One of my
Wiggum?
favorite characters.
He talked funny. Right.
Right. So obviously, as we know, it's Michael and Mark. So we do apologise for the delay. We would have been here sooner, but unfortunately, the wind kept pushing us back. Let's hope that wind's there. But for 45 minutes in one direction, the way that we're attacking them.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do, we're going to go straight in. The first topic that we're going to do, and it is linked to obviously looking at the fact that we are having a bit of dip in form, and that we've went now from being third to being behind a little bit from Man U. Obviously, Spurs are now catching up. I think Brighton's probably a team to worry, and it is the case of whilst it may look as if we're going to be playing in Europe, will it be the Champions League or will it be the Europa League? And obviously, as you can see, it's getting towards the nighttime shot of St. James's Park, which is what we'd see on European nights. So I'll give you I'll tell you what, we'll go with the questions and go to Mark. So Mark, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
I mean, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because only at Newcastle could we be unbeaten in 17 games and sort of be in a mini crisis at the same time as the way things have kind of gone in the past few weeks. Goals just seem to have obviously dried up. And I mean, I don't think anyone feels necessarily too downtrodden in the sense that, it's draws. It's more the teams we've drawn against, really. You look at the opposition and you think, opportunity missed. Obviously, Manchester United have now sort of pulled away a little bit, although we do have a game in hand on them. So we'll have to really try and capitalise this weekend. But then, for me, you look around on the table, it's like, who is actually going to mount a challenge for the top four? The obvious contenders, obviously, and we've spoken about them before on the show, is Spurs. They've lost 8 games already this season. That's not the kind of form that typically gets you into the Champions League. Now, I know it's not a typical season, so fair enough, but they just seem so inconsistent. They don't scare me. If anything, Brighton scare me a bit more than them. And then there's Liverpool, who everyone keeps saying are eventually going to turn it round and mount a challenge. But so far, yet to see any evidence of it. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens tomorrow, which we'll get into a bit later. But for me, I mean, I still think we're in with a really good chance of getting into the Champions League. And of course, if we don't, it's far from a failure anyway. So, you give me Thursday night European football, brilliant. No problem with that. No problem with that whatsoever.
Can't hear you, Mark.
There we go. You can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
It was probably better muted, but if at least if you've got the Thursday night, you can then take the Friday off and really start like an early weekend.
I saw this. The only thing I wouldn't like about the Europa League is you get more weekend games on the Sunday rather than the Saturday. Obviously, just by nature, which is kind of a bit crap. But I mean, let's be honest, it's a fair trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is that, and it's one of those things of would the Europa League suit us in terms of the step up? Because is it too big a step to go relegation battle, Champions League? Yeah, because will we need it? But then again, it could be those things of let's go into the Champions League. Yeah, we might not do well, but we might, we'll enjoy like the group stage or whatever, and then be trying to build. Because at least if you're in the Champions League, you're then going and seeing the players.
Yeah,
right? What we're in the Champions League. Yeah, you imagine that if we're going to go for, let's say, James Maddison, you're then going to say, well,
yeah,
look what we're in the Champions League, or you're going to say to, like, let's say Moussa Diaby, who would be looking at, well, yeah, we're in the Champions League now. So you've got that sort of like, the pulling power, which you'd probably have seen clubs like Chelsea able to offer that, Arsenal, Spurs, and that. Yeah, that's the carrot. And I know the big thing, but it's the financial aspect of it.
Yeah,
100%.
Because the sponsorship deals that we can agree in the Europa League will be nowhere near the level in terms of money that we would get for deals in the Champions League.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it would just open up our FFP a lot more. It would accelerate that a lot more. I mean, are we going to win the Champions League? No. I mean,
not yet.
Being of that age and remembering all those, I mean, the 3-2 against Barcelona, just the first one off the top of my head. They're the nights that we're all that people my age remember. I mean, you just take it what it is. You think, well, we're not going to get anywhere near the final, are we? Not at this stage. But to have those nights and to have that money, and like you said, and be able to attract those players, the Champions League makes a nice little package at the moment. Right now, I can see why everyone. It suddenly dawned to me why we need it. When everything that's happening with Man City makes you realise that we need that acceleration of that money because we're so far behind because of the last 14 years. So Champions League would be a lot better, but like Mark said, there's nothing wrong with Europa, is there? We would take it anyway, considering where we were.
It's a good comment though from Earthling Carl that's come in on the live comments there. We're gonna have to invest in the summer, regardless of which competition we're in, because at the moment, Eddie Howe's really picking from a squad of 14 or 15 players.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, I know there's a 25-man squad, but he seems to trust 14 or 15 of them to do the job in the games that matter. That's not going to get you very far in a European competition. Those lads will be absolutely shagged if they have to compete on 3 fronts.
Yeah,
4 fronts rather. With the 2.
Well, Sean Longstaff will be, according to Bruno.
Yeah. Ironically, he might be the only one who's got enough energy to fight on all 4 fronts in every game. Actually,
yeah.
But yeah, I can seriously. You want my honest opinion on it is in the summer, if we've got European football, doesn't matter which competition, we probably need to sign about 8 players, like good quality players as well, and that's quite daunting because you're making a big change to the squad all at once. But
and can we afford it? That's the thing. Can we afford it?
Yeah, and if it's Europa League, you don't get as much money as Mark says.
We've got 15 million for Chris Wood now because he started.
What a deal that is! What for 3 games? I mean, is that actually true? Do we actually know that for certain? Because that is fantastic deal. He plays 3 times, and there you go, 15 mil. I thought it would be more.
I also think there was a fee involved in terms of like the loan deal itself, so that might have been like $1 million or 2 million. So you imagine if we could end up getting like 17 million or something like that.
It's ridiculous. That is just
wow.
To make matters crazier on that deal, Keith Downey said Chris Wood's getting about 40 grand a week more at Forest than he was at Newcastle.
So everyone's running like.
And I trust Keith Downey and his sources. So
I think he was getting a fair whack of money at Newcastle. So we've got the wage bill off. We've got maybe 15 plus million for him. Mm-hmm. Which I think is an absolute cracking deal. Like,
I mean, 10 million quid just to keep us up.
But you then also look at in terms of wages, you could probably see like some Matt Ritchie being off the wage bill.
He's supposed to be one of our biggest earners, isn't he?
Probably being off the wage bill. I would say either Dubravka or Darlow going off the wage bill.
Fraser, who's probably on a decent wage because he came in on a free. So
Yeah, so Ryan Fraser probably going out there. Maybe Jamal Lewis, or Paul Dummett. You're looking at that. Even Jamal Lascelles, because I think Lascelles will probably move on. So you're looking there and you're going quite a few players going out there. So that, and if we get money on that all that money's and wage, and that's going to go on. We'll do with Chelsea. We'll put everyone on 7-year deals. For the amortization.
I'm surprised more people didn't go out of summer. Going back, I honestly couldn't believe how many we kept. Considering how many we're using, all the names that you just mentioned there. How many times has Dummett played this season?
It's shifting them on though with the wages, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like someone's got to pay those wages, and Mike Ashley's got a history of just going, I'm not going to sign another player, just give him a wage bump and put another 2-3 years on his contract.
Exactly,
that's what we're living with.
But then you look and you go, and I think a player like Ryan Fraser would probably be like, look, I want it. Let's move on. Let's go and move on, because I've had even if we end up paying some of the wages, we'll be paying less than what we wouldn't be paying the full wage, so we're still getting money off the books. I just think I also think we're probably a little bit more prudent in the January in that sense, which to help us be in a position that we could go big in the summer, and I think that was probably always the plan. But and I still don't necessarily think we need. We need. I would say another midfielder.
We need quality rather than quantity, don't we?
So I would say one sort of really big, marquee midfielder, and then bring in a young midfielder, not that much money, but he's a young midfielder. He's got the ability to go. That's something that you'd look at. I actually think we'll probably need a more attacking style left back. In that sense, probably another winger and another striker, and if Lascelles goes, probably another defender. So you're looking at those things, but again, they don't have to be massive things. So another defender doesn't necessarily have to be big money, but it could still it could still work out quite well in that sense. You're also looking at there could be players coming to the end of the contract. So Tielemans is coming to the end of his contract. What's to stop Newcastle from going and saying, look, we'll sign you? I think Tielemans would be a perfect signing for us.
I know what you mean. We're not going to go down that. But that's what they'll be looking for, isn't it? They'll be looking for those that that they can. That's what Damas was for, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm trying not to name names that Mark.
I know we don't want to get into that debate. But absolutely.
We've already had the Anthony Gordon debate.
Yeah.
Question is, will Mark be applauding when it's going starting lineup? Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, he will, won't you, Mark?
You assume I'm in the stadium early enough for that. I'm still having a pint, probably. Although, in all seriousness, for the Liverpool game, I will definitely be making sure I get there a bit early, because I want to see the war flags display for Bobby and his 90th birthday.
Yeah, Bobby's 90th.
I know, a lovely man, and I believe War Flags have got a really fitting tribute from which he deserves in that.
God bless them, War Flags.
Exactly. But it was something that needed to be done. Batman Bud's also said the same thing with regards to the transfers. Is Eddie doesn't like disrupting the dressing room too much, and I do get that, but I think there's probably a time where people might move on.
It's got to come, hasn't it?
I think there's not enough made of that as well, because it can genuinely disrupt things, but it is going to come to a crunch point when we get in Europe where it's like, well, we do literally need bodies to put on the pitch to have in reserve. You can't fight on four fronts with a small squad. We need probably at least a pool of at least 20 players that are actively swapping in and out.
You could even say maybe Jamal Lewis staying. So that's probably one player you could maybe say, well, look, we could still keep him. But you could still see the likes of Matt Ritchie go, Ryan Fraser go. I still think Jacob Murphy's a one to keep, because whilst he might not necessarily be playing the Champions League games, he can still come in and do something.
I think with players like Jacob Murphy, a lot of them, it'll be like, well, if we get a good offer, we'll let him go. But otherwise, we're going to hold on to him. And I think,
or if the player genuinely wants to go, because I think once the player
like
wants
Chris
to
Wood
go,
and Shelvey,
And I think Wood and Shelvey, those two deals are quite indicative of both of those things, because the player just looked at it and went, look, I want to go for my own I've got my own good reasons to do it. The club got a good deal.
Yeah, I'm getting more money.
Exactly, yes.
Well, that's it. I mean, but
the
trading a relegation fight for another relegation fight.
The Wood deal in particular is like, that's the kind of deal that big clubs do. Big clubs sell their sort of fringe players for big money. And that's kind of the first one that we've done since the new owners have come in. So
that never would have happened under Ashley, would it?
Exactly. But you look at the fact that
it's just brilliant.
But even who we've brought in, when you look and you think 12 million for Matt Targett, decent, be about 13 million for Dan Burn, decent buy. 12 million for Trippier, absolute steal for that. Nick Pope, 10 million. Christ. I'm going, what were Burnley thinking? Yeah,
that they didn't have any choice, did they?
So no, it should have been double that, to be fair in that sense. Yeah. But yeah, it's all those things that are going to play a part. Yeah, I think Loris Karius would be a great player to sign for to be a backup keeper in the Champions League or Europe, because he's got that sort of like knowledge. He knows that about that. We're going to move on to the next topic now, just because whilst the European nights are lovely and you're thinking, oh, somewhere nice and warm, especially if they've been cold and windy. Yeah.
Back down to earth.
Exactly, this time of year.
So what we'll do now is we're going to move on to probably a sore subject, which was all the way back on the 31st of August, 2022, where this man, I think, showed himself up to be petty and a sore winner, I would say. I know people have labelled him as a sore loser, but I think he was a sore winner. And rather than looking at the fact that his side didn't really do much and didn't deserve anything from the game, really, he decided to attack. Liverpool 1-2-1, but he decided, let's go on the attack and that. I think in the fans' eyes, and this is the problem, because I think with fans, this is the revenge. This is the revenge on Liverpool for what happened. Because, we look at it and go, look, if that game had finished 30 seconds earlier, we would be sat here unbeaten in the Premier League so far this season. But those extra 30 seconds and that cost were. Do you think Eddie Howe will allow the players to be having it as the mindset of, this is revenge, we're going to go out and or is Eddie Howe just going to go, look, we can't do this, we can't focus on the revenge. This is about focusing on Liverpool, what danger the players have got, and what we need to do as a team, and just let the crowd do what they need to do. Michael, we'll go to you first on this one.
Yeah, Eddie's like a Jedi. He doesn't believe in revenge. So I'm sure. I mean, I got that from his press conference today.
Maybe not publicly.
No, exactly. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem that type of guy. Don't play the game, don't play the occasion, which is what we're hoping he's going to say about the F word next week. But let's not get distracted by that. But no, I don't think that's going to be on Eddie's mind.
Formula One.
Yeah, Formula One. Yeah.
He's a big fan.
He's a big fan. Yeah. So, but no, I don't think that's going to be on his mind. Not Eddie. He's too good for that. All those mind games and all that. If it does affect him, then he's very good at not showing it. So, and I'm sure the players won't be thinking about that neither. So, I don't think it's revenge for the staff and the players. Maybe for us.
You have
for them.
You
too long ago as well.
It's only August. Yeah, I've held longer grudges.
Yeah, so have I. But still,
I've held one. Well, I'd held one particular grudge for around 14 years.
Yeah.
You mentioned the F word.
Sorry.
Do you think that could also be a distraction for the players?
Well, we talked about this the other night, didn't we? I think it is. I can't see how it isn't. It is for me. It must be. They're only human. They've got to be thinking about it. It's got to be on their minds. What It just I just can't believe that they're not thinking about it. They might not be consumed by it, but I think they must be thinking about it. Every tackle and every card and every moment, it's got to be. It has to be.
Yeah, Black Mama's just put a really good comment. Jurgen, I respect a lot for his style, achievement, and personality in the game, but it feels like he's become like Jose, someone who blames everyone and everything else when things go wrong. And I think he probably hit the nail on the head perfectly, because when he first came to Liverpool, it's like a breath of fresh air. Like
the smiley German my missus used to call
exactly. And he was like bubbly. Your personality was great. The football that they were playing was great. But now he seems to have turned quite bitter, and it's not the fact that I'm now looking going, I want Man City to beat Liverpool. That's the sort of thing. Whereas you'd want Liverpool to beat Man City, but I just think the way that's went around it, Pep Guardiola is never a sore loser, and we saw that in the draw at St James's Park, where he basically went, "Well, did you enjoy the game?" He says, "Well, yeah, great. Yeah, that's what we're here for. We're here to because I think he respects that teams will come and let you have a go at his team in that, because he likes to see that sort of game." And I just don't. There's just part of me where I think, is it the point where Jurgen's reaching like the end of his cycle at Liverpool? Yeah, because you do get that with managers. Probably like with Jose doesn't stay at clubs too long, because I think he probably gets that on there. The one good thing is Andre Marinette is nowhere near tomorrow, either as referee, fourth official, or even VAR. It is Anthony Taylor, and he is he's from Manchester, so let's hope there's a bit of sort of like that Manchester rivalry in there.
There's a little bit there, yeah.
Oh, Newcastle's got their third penalty.
In 20 minutes. I'll let Mark commentate on Klopp, because I've got my own Liverpool troll, so I'm not saying a word about him, but I like his hat. There you go.
I absolutely hate this story arc for Jurgen Klopp's life. This weird second act that he seems to have gone into. Like, it wasn't that long ago that I absolutely loved Jurgen Klopp. Like I really did. I thought he was. I loved everything about him. I loved his style of play.
Even last year.
Yeah, it was starting to wane a little last year, but still in the main, it was all good, and it's just come tumbling down so painfully, and he hasn't dealt with it in, let's just say, in a very dignified way at all, and it's getting really quite embarrassing at this point for him, I think. And the worst thing is,
Liverpool trolls.
They've got to his internet cables.
How dare you say something against Jurgen?
But yeah, it's very sad to see, and he's a manager that I've got so much respect for, purely because I absolutely love the style of football that he popularized. Whereas one of the reasons I've never been a big fan of Pep generally is because I don't like his style of football at all. I think it's boring. I think it reduces football down to something that's almost cold and scientific, whereas Klopp's style of football was really entertaining, but also, I mean, it was still technical. It had a bit of that technicality about it. So for him to have descended into, I mean, I think Black Mamba's description is pretty damn good, actually. It feels like he's become a bit like the new Jose Mourinho, and that is a very sad direction for him to have gone in. And the thing is, he seems bitter. He seems really bitter. And it's interesting that obviously you asked the question to Michael, do you think Eddie Howe will sort of be looking for revenge? And I agree with Michael. I don't think he will be. And it's going to sound a bit silly, really, but I think it's true. I think the way Klopp's mind is working right now, he'll be coming to us looking for revenge, even though there's no revenge to be had. They won the game, but he still felt slighted, and it was like, how dare you not lie down and let our team walk the ball in the net?
Exactly. How dare you try and slow things down and fake? injuries or whatever like that. The one thing which I do think may have been like a turning point for him a little bit was I think he was asked a question about obviously Newcastle and Eddie Howe and that, and yes, he did mention money in terms of going forward, but he did say, but that's not happened yet for Eddie. So that's, I think it was like, let's try and get out of the money, because it is true. Yeah, everyone can say, oh, yeah, Newcastle spent money. We haven't. Relatively, I think Liverpool have spent more money this season than we have.
Comfortably.
Yeah. So it is that, where Newcastle are down to the hard work of the players and the plan that Eddie Howe's got.
Yeah.
It has got nothing to do, might have a little bit to do with the money that was spent, but not massive amounts, because money's
a necessity in building any successful
Well, that's the
team.
thing, but money doesn't bring success.
No.
Chelsea's your prime example.
Yeah, Chelsea who aren't even the best team in West London, never mind the Premier League, and they've spent 600 odd million quid.
Everton as well, they're another good example, aren't they?
Yeah, Everton's a good example. Man U, to a point where, because they were just throwing money at players and that. So there's various examples, where you've just spent loads of money and it just hasn't worked.
The one thing I would say about Howe is, I forgot to mention it there just before, I don't think he'll be looking for revenge, but I do think that he'll use that game as a motivator for the players. I wouldn't be surprised if he's replayed that 98th minute goal a few times this week and trying to use that a little bit,
That's what I've done. That was just what I said. When I hope Eddie Howe sits the players down to watch that match again.
You can just guarantee it, can't you? He seems like that kind of manager who's going to make the most of that, and something about it just screams Eddie Howe.
But just, this is a message in case there's any other ground stuff. Can we please make sure that the floodlights are the other way, so that the shadow doesn't fall on the forward part of the lines when they're doing the offside?
Yes.
just in case.
Just in case. You never know. You never know what we might need. Any assistance would be very much appreciated.
Exactly.
Actually, if they could turn the floodlights off as well, at like say 93 minutes or whatever, just so we make sure there's no stupid amounts of added time going on again,
Yeah, just turning off the lights now.
But see, that was the thing again, and it's probably a bit different. But at the West Ham game, I was like, why is it only 4 minutes away? Come on, it's been not more than 4 minutes. But that's because we wanted to get that. So I can understand fans loving the fact that there's more time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it should be that case if you can't beat them in 90 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, you're supposed to be. You are playing 90 minutes, aren't you? You're playing up first, so it's not added. It's not extra. It's just for what you've lost. So
exactly. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll move on to the preview aspect of that. We will look at Liverpool and the team there, but firstly, just to point out for any of those wondering about the yellow card tightrope for J7, if he gets yellow carded tomorrow, yes, it'll be the 10th, but he will not miss the cup final.
Yeah, I'm glad.
2-match suspension will be in the league.
I'm glad somebody finally got to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
So, the only thing is if a player gets sent off. So, fingers crossed for Rashford.
It's a weird rule. Makes no sense. I'm all for it, though. All for it.
Because I think
it doesn't make any sense.
Red cards kind of count cross competition, but yellows don't.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably because the 10 card rule. Yeah, it might be like a rule that's in the Premier League in terms of if you get 10 yellow cards in this league.
Yeah, that's their rule.
Rather than necessarily an FA rule, because the FA only really control like the FA Cup. Yeah, like the EFL probably have different rules. So but so no red card, lads. Well, unless it's Paul Dummett.
Jamal Lascelles on the sideline again, doing some naughty business.
Anthony Gordon.
But that was the thing against Bournemouth. That was the first time Sven Botman has got a yellow card for Newcastle.
I know. I couldn't believe that.
That's pretty good going for a central defender, isn't it?
And I'm going to be honest, the card was harsh in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
But I mean, a central defender, and he's played how many games this season? I mean, must be more than 20 across.
Quite a lot
22
of
now,
them,
isn't
yeah.
it? So
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
quite a lot. But it's funny that Jamal Lascelles
has got two.
has got more yellow cards.
Yeah, for
Than
not
starts.
being on the pitch.
And and he's not. He's hardly played.
Yeah.
But I will say that's the attitude I love from a player. The fact that he can go out and do that as like a captain. He's basically.
Hey,
I'm like,
however you
that's
want to
what we want.
contribute.
Yeah,
Exactly,
I am merely a
exactly.
small cog in this wheel, but I'm still here.
I'll go to Mark first on this one of who are Liverpool's biggest threats.
I've been trying to work out who's fit for this, so forgive me because obviously I've been out of the country and just got back today. My understanding is Luis Diaz is still injured, and he would have been sort of my pick of the bunch had he been fit. So yeah, and I think Thiago's still out as well. So I mean, Salah doesn't look like Salah this season, which just seems weird to say.
Yeah,
I mean, just I still can't quite get my head around it. I think Alexander Arnold from set pieces is always dangerous. You know, you don't want to be giving away silly free kicks if you can help it. And I think I don't even know who will play in defence for them because they've obviously had so many injuries.
I'll give you the lineup that started the game at Anfield against Everton. Alisson in goal.
Yeah.
A back four of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joel Matip, Joe Gomez, and Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
A midfield of Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, and Stefan Biektik.
Oh God, that's an awful midfield. There's no legs in that midfield.
Well, no, the youngster that.
Yeah.
I thought he looked really good. Then you've got Mo Salah, Darwin Núñez, and Cody Gakpo.
I don't rate Cody Gakpo. I'm just going to say it right now. Well, it's not. I don't rate him. I just don't think he's everything that people have cracked him up to be.
No.
He's definitely not a centre forward. So I think Klopp needs to learn that sooner.
He's
rather
no
than
Miggy
later.
Almiron.
He's definitely not.
No, he's definitely not.
The bench for Liverpool was Keller, the goalkeeper. Konstantinos Tsimikas, the left back.
Yeah.
Robertson's Nathaniel Phillips, Big Virg van Dijk.
Yeah, apparently.
I think he's going to start.
He'll be fit. Yeah.
It's just a shame he hasn't pulled up with a.
Well, he'll be the second best Dutch centre half on the pitch.
Exactly.
That's not bad, is it?
They then had Harvey Elliott, Naby Keita, James Milner, Diogo Jota, and Roberto Firmino.
I do like Jota.
Yeah, I think he'll start.
Yeah. It's one of those games where Liverpool have got a side that can hurt you.
Yeah.
But we just need to do that.
They kind of, you know what they kind of remind me of? They kind of remind me a little bit of Spurs. Like they've got loads of firepower. The difference between the two of them is Spurs don't have a defence, but they've got a decent midfield. Liverpool don't have a midfield, and they've kind of got a defence. It's been a bit ropey this season. Van Dijk's not looking himself, and that, yeah.
Well, to be honest, Liverpool have done what we did when we were screaming out for someone in midfield, and then we went and signed someone in the forward line.
Yeah,
which is exactly what they've done with Cody Gakpo in that sense. Yeah. But I think that's probably where we're similar in the fact that the targets that we had in midfield just weren't available, or the deal just wasn't right. And there's no point just bringing someone in for the sake of it. So in that sense, you've got that. But yeah, our record is we've only lost one game against the top six, and that was Liverpool. And it's let's hope that continues. Moving on to us.
Yeah.
Willock's likely to be, well, I think almost certain to be out, but will be fit for the game next weekend, which I'm not going to mention the name
of. The game that cannot be named.
Yeah. The game that's not at St. James's Park.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. You would then look and go, okay, then so Joe Linton will move into the midfield. You'll have Sean Longstaff there, and then you look and go, well, do we go to 4-2-3-1?
That's what I'd like to see personally.
And have Alma on. What I'd actually love to see is I'd like to see Maxi move into the middle and play the number 10 slot and put Anthony Gordon on the left, because I think you would then help out Dan Burn more. Because the biggest issue that I've had is in the 2 games that Maxi's been involved, that's when Dan Burns looked the worst.
Yeah,
and it's just something. Yeah, it's like the probably is in that rhythm.
Might help Maxi's game a little as well, just because if he gets
given that free role.
Yeah, it's much easier to mark someone out of the game if they're playing on the wing, because the touchline is basically acting as a defender anyway.
But you could
if
also
the defenders try and crowd him out in the middle.
You could do that with all those 3. Mickey can move into the centre. He can move to the left. So
it's a good shout. It's a very good shout.
In that sense, so it's something that can be done. Yeah, could Ellie Anderson come in? Yeah,
I think he must be in contention.
But there is that option,
Yes, to play at some point. I mean, not to start. I think he will definitely start Anthony Gordon without a doubt. I'll be shocked if he's not in the.
Well, come on, he's an Evertonian. You've got to start him against Liverpool.
If he's still there in 90 minutes, is a different matter. I think we're really going to see that lad for everything. If he can keep his head tomorrow, then I'll start to change my mind about him.
And he hasn't got another game for 2 weeks after this anyway.
Exactly. So if he can keep his head tomorrow, then I'll start thinking, okay, maybe you're a bit more mature than I think you are. So,
well, I actually thought we looked the better side once he'd come on and replaced Willock. To be fair, I actually thought, we're looking better now. Isak, I think, is going to start.
Yeah, definitely.
Just for the fact that Callum Wilson, if anything, may have already trained today. So I think it's a case of have Wilson on the bench, but may come off. Which is a good thing. If you can have a player like Callum Wilson that you can bring off the bench. You're looking at that. I've got a feeling there will be another player that will be on the bench, and it'll be that Lewis Miley again. I'd love to see him get a small bit of game time, no matter how much. Even if it's just a couple of minutes at the end of the game. When we're in extra time, I just think, look, this could. It's like that mentality aspect of it. There you go on the pitch. This is what you could be. You work hard. This is what you'll be experiencing. And that thing, I just think could. It can work. It might scare quite a few, but I just think it's one of those things that'll work quite well. Fact is, keeper, backline, midfield, and the forward line probably all pick itself. To be fair, from that sense, you're probably going to see Fraser on the bench because of the suspensions and that. Matt Ritchie will probably be on there. Like I said, I think Callum Wilson will be on the bench just for that aspect. But at least we've got someone who's got blunt hair back next week.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be quite a weird game. I think I don't know how everyone else is going to take.
I think it's going to be
the whole atmosphere. I'm not quite sure. If in the scheme of things, a team that we usually do quite badly against, losing to them, are we going to be is it going to make our nerves worse? Is it going to? Oh well, it doesn't matter. I suppose that depends on the person yourself. I think it's going to be a weird game. I think.
It is. It is. So you're scratching my head thinking exactly what sort of game it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be.
It's not going to be a 4-3 classic, is it?
Yeah, it's not going to be a store shopper.
It's not going to be the
I'd love it if it was. Great, imagine.
Yeah, especially if it goes our way for a change.
Yeah, when you said 4-3, which means you said 4-3, that means it's the home team.
Oh yeah. Well,
but no, I think it'll probably be one of those ones of just the battle of wits and that, and I don't think either. Just we might do the Eddie might be like, right, let's just get at them from the start. They're probably not expecting it.
Yeah, like we said at the top, I'm sure Eddie will be like saying, "Look, lads, forget that, forget everything else. This is what matters now. This 90 minutes." I mean, of course he is. I mean, again, if they can do that, is a different, is another thing. But of course he will. They want fourth place. Absolutely. We've been there for too bloody long now, haven't we?
This is the thing. Liverpool.
He's probably pulling his hair out as much as we are about it.
Exactly. Liverpool win. They're 6 points behind us.
Which is crazy, really.
It is.
We win, and they're 12 points behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
do have form of chucking a 12-point advantage away, though, don't we? So
the thing is, if we beat them, it's not just 12 points; it's 12 points, and we've got a game in hand on them.
Yeah.
So you just sort of think,
we played them as well. So
if we can beat them, they're basically that's them done.
Yeah. I mean, once we get into March, everything else is just going to slot. Right. This is it now, lads. Everything else is gone. Yeah. So
look, I'm going to say, as long as it's not a one where we do not get anything from the game, because that also may play into the motivation for the game next week, and to have a positive result. So that's something that I think needs to be looked at. I also believe a certain Frenchman will be in attendance at the game tomorrow.
Oh, from Insta.
Oh yeah. With Robert himself.
Mr. Robert.
Yeah, Monsieur Laurent Robert.
Maybe he's going to be a halftime guest.
But it was just lovely seeing him taking pictures of the quayside, enjoying a nice meal and that. Love the hotel that he's in. It looks really nice. You can tell that's the money one.
Yeah. I was going to say, where's he staying?
I think it's the Hotel de Van.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just because there was a bit of brickwork and that sort of has the red brick sort of in there. But I also think because he went for a look around the quayside.
Stroll, he was already down there.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's nice. It's nice to be able to bring players in. We've brought Ryan Taylor back. Yeah. We've brought other. Warren Barton's been, Rob Lee's probably been.
Lee Clark's been, I know he's been.
Lee Clark's been. I think.
Killer Kill Klein was there. Months ago.
I think
we haven't been able to keep. We haven't been able to keep Shea Given away. He turns up for all the cup games, whether we ask him to or not.
And if we keep the format when he's there, long may it rain. Just take him everywhere with us. He's our little mascot.
He's definitely next guy. I'll be a pundit for the final. Yeah,
oh God, I bet he does. I'll do it for free. He's probably said. I don't care. Because he's been there and done it. Should get him to talk to him. There was a lot of talk, wasn't there, in the press conference today about you're going to get old players back, and then he's sort of we're thinking about it. We're thinking about doing it. We might do something like that. And we've had people in before, but we've kept it to ourselves. So,
I think he mentioned players of the Kevin Keegan era, and you're sort of thinking, well, Warren Barton had been over for a bit, so Warren Barton might have been one of them. I think Rob Lee, it was one. But I just think if you could get players who were involved in the 1999 Cup final and just explain how it felt to lose that game, that sort of. Because I think if you can get those sort of things being passed over, it'll work wonders. Yeah, that's a Dan Burn and Sean Longstaff's already been talking to the players about how important the cup finals and that. But it's just one of those things.
Well, it is for them as well. I mean, it's close. Most of them are going to get to a medal.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Most of them. So I don't think you're going to need a lot of pep talk here for a final. Well, you need a pep talk going into a final. There's something wrong here.
Well, the one thing is if we end up with something to go into a cabinet, shall we just say? I'm not going to say as, and again, it's the.
You might as well just come out and say it.
No, I'm going to. Yeah, then passports will be needed, because that's one of the benefits of getting that something to go into a cabinet. So there is that incentive as well of full-time could be in Europe.
Never having to buy a drink on Tyneside ever again for as long as they live.
Well, most of them don't need to do that anyway.
Well, no, most of them don't need to do that, but definitely, well, that's for another day, isn't it? We're getting ahead of ourselves again.
It is. Well, we'll get back to this one, and we'll wrap up, and we'll finish off with match predictions. My prediction is it'll probably be freezing. It is.
True.
We'll go with. I'll go with Michael. I'll just get the prediction out of the way, because we all know what it's going to be.
As usual, 2-2. My superstition is 2-2, and it actually might be right. Actually, I do actually believe it'll be 2-2.
And Mark.
I don't want to say it, but I think we'll lose this game. We don't have a lot of luck against Liverpool at the best of times, and even throughout the years. I just don't feel good about it in that sense, but I'm hoping to be surprised.
Hey,
I'm hoping to be surprised.
Michael, remember?
Yeah.
You remember what happened the last time he said he had a bad feeling?
Very true. He's got to say it as much as you've got to have your Greg's and go to your local. Go to the one.
You need to put that in
a superstition. It's going to be superstition.
I hope you need to put that in the WhatsApp group tomorrow.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
If we get a 3-0 win, then fucking brilliant. No problems. But I don't feel. I don't know.
I would say just for those that aren't aware, Mark in the WhatsApp group before the Leicester City game said, "I've got a bad feeling about this." 8 minutes in, I think the message was that bad feeling the curry from last night? Because it's certainly.
Funnily enough, I did fall ill the next day, actually. So it's like, I actually seriously did. I ended up with a really bad cold for about a week. But listen, I'll take another cold for a win against Liverpool. No problem. I'll take one for the team. No problems there. But yeah, I just think that we always get really bad luck with them, and there's almost something poetic about not being beaten by anybody this season other than Liverpool.
Yeah. If we're gonna have bad luck, let's have it tomorrow, eh?
I mean, the thing is, even if we do lose tomorrow, we've still lost the fewest number of games in the Premier League.
But the other thing which I would also just point out is, if we keep our record at home, then there will be no team that will have been able to do the double over us.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That would be a good thing to have. Well, let's hope the boys pull it out of the bag. I'm just good at Bruno's not in.
But
if Bruno plays this game, I'm like dead confident, because their midfield is awful.
But this is the thing. Let's say that Liverpool don't leave with happy faces tomorrow. We're then going into March with still only one defeat.
I know, it's madness.
Yeah, and you'd be scratching, going, like.
Yeah.
To have made it this far with only one defeat is just unreal. I mean, to have made it into March.
Well, realistically, if we think of it, in all games, we've only lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
was Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've only lost 2 games.
The anomaly
in all competitions this season, and that, and we're getting towards the end of February. So
it's a madness. It's an absolute madness.
It is. But it is one of those things. Yeah, we are where we are. Yeah, I think we deserve it in terms of the way we play.
Yeah.
But I actually think playing against a bigger side probably suits us.
I think you're right.
Because Liverpool aren't going to just sit back like West Ham did, or like Bournemouth did, or like Leeds did. Yeah. Fulham didn't, and that was a game I actually quite enjoyed watching. I enjoyed it more, when Mittel's penalty was ruled out because he touched it twice and then Isak scored. But I just think the teams are sort of like sussing us out in that, and they're starting to sit deep in that. Don't take that as being annoyed. That's actually a compliment. And the fact that
it's also a Bournemouth for us, aren't they? They're scrapping for their lives down there.
Exactly.
That point to them is like, we would have been happy with that this time last year if the rules were reversed.
Imagine if Liverpool's come and sit back here. That'll just.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, lads. The dream, right? The absolute dream for tomorrow. Screw this 3-0 idea, right? The dream for tomorrow is 1-1 going into added time. And Newcastle pop up with an injury time winner. That's what we all really want to see, isn't it?
By Anthony Gordon.
You couldn't make that up.
I'll take it. Just to see if Jurgen Klopp's face literally just explodes.
He'll just go like he does.
But but it is just that one. Yeah. And it being in the 97th minute.
Just for a bit poetic.
After 95 minutes were put up on the board. But no, it is just those things, and you do just look at it. Yeah, we all know it's going to be tough games. Yeah, you've thought that when you went away to Arsenal. Yeah, when we've went away to Spurs. Yeah, when we've had Chelsea at home. Yeah, when we've had Man City at home. These are all tough games.
Yes.
We also need to remember that the game that we did lose at Liverpool was a team that had, I think, Jamal Lascelles and Dan Burn as centre backs. Yeah. There was no Bruno, there was no Fabian Schär, there was no Callum Wilson, there was no, I think, St. Maximin, I don't think played, and there was no Sven. There was no Sven Botman. So
let's just get through it and hope that we don't get any injuries or any silly cards, and whatever will be, as our chant is.
We're going to Wembley.
Exactly. So
some of us are.
Some of us are. Some of us are still going to be there in the vicinity, but some of us are. But let's just hope we get through it.
Yeah. We'll finish up there. But what I will just looking ahead. There will be 2 shows next week. We'll be doing the podcast as usual on the Tuesday. We did move it to the Wednesday this week just because we do have romantic shows in that, and we didn't want to have to drag people away from their loved ones. For me, it was just the picture of Bruno. So we'll do the Tuesday one. Also, because of the fact that a lot of people will be either getting ready to travel or traveling to London on the Friday, we are going to bring the look ahead forward, and it'll be on the Thursday this time. What we'll also do is please keep watching the socials, especially over the next weekend, because there will be a lot of things coming. So thank you. Good night, and fingers crossed for tomorrow.
Yeah, my weather tune.